It was snowy morning. Duncan was complaining. "Ugh, this snow is getting ridiculous," said Duncan. "Well, the snow will be fun as you said," Peter Sam. "Pop. The snow caused me crazy out." Duncan popped away to collect the coaches. Soon Duncan was collect the passengers and he blow the whistle and journey begin. Duncan was so careless down the line. He blow whistle echoing caused landslide of snow fall into the line and Duncan saw a landslide. He tried to stop, but the rails were too icy. No one was hurt, but Duncan was derailed by landslide and he was stuck. Duncan's driver went for help. In nighttime the snow was getting heavier and heavier. And Duncan with passengers' coaches were freezing. His firebox were gone out, and Duncan was shivering in cold snow. Next morning, Peter, Sam and Duke were rescued Duncan out of the snow. He was freezing in colder snow and Duncan thought was the most careful of the snow.
Thomas is new here. When December is over, Thomas whistled to his friends. It's almost New Year Eve. I bring you lots of drinks and coffee and tea for you and get some food. Then everyone cheered as Thomas popped out of sight. It was a calm evening at Tim's sheds. So Talbot had important news for Thomas. Thomas, you had a special job for you. You had to deliver the mail to Figgerstown before the ship leaving at 4 hours. And New Eve is tomorrow because a New Year you just had a special for everyone. It's about the special gifts. This is a letter from a little boy. He says, "We want to come to fire you from the big city. Dear Fiends, I love you all of its steam teams. Certainly, Tom." "Yes, sir, I won't let you down." Soon, Thomas was on the way to Figgerstown. The snow was getting heavier and heavier than usual. I must get to Figgerstown. I must get to Figgerstown. Then there was trouble. Botheration. Thomas tried to move, but he couldn't. Then he tried again, and again, and again, till he last, he pulled out in the snow. Thomas noticed that his snowplow was stuck in the snowdrift. Cinders and ashes! My snowplow is stuck. I better push through in the snow. Thomas backed it up, came to the stop. And he said, 1, 2, 3, push. Snowplow was free, but Thomas was derailed. He was stuck. Oh, I never get to the Fickerstown Bridge for like this to the mainland before the ship leaves. What should I do now? Then Edward puffed in.
What happened here? Don't worry, Thomas. I'll go for help.
Edward raced down the building. Edward raced to the Henry's tunnel. It wasn't that long. 2 engines came to rescue Thomas. Here, Thomas, I'm back. I'm arrived with James. So clear this snow for you. I have put you back on the tracks. Edward, that was very kind. By next morning, Sir Talbot had to prowl all the engines for rescuing Thomas from the snowdrift. Done, Thomas, you back. Thanks to Edward rescuing Thomas and James to clear the snow. Proud of you all. You had to celebrate of a New Year Eve of the East to Western Railways. No, I mean Northwestern Railway. A really useful 3 steam engines, both. You all. Thank you, sir. This is the most brightest of all. It was a very winter morning of the island of Sodor. Spencer and Thomas were way at the station and wait for the special job. You see, Thomas? Duke and Duchess want me to pick up the coal and set to the fire. I like happy too, Spencer, but there's a winter snowy, icy in there. Also track very slippery. Nonsense, Thomas. I can slide there. I'm a private engine. And I am a streamline engine. Soon as Thomas and Spencer were fetched the coal for Duke and Duchess, then there's the first hill for sliding. The track was very slippery. Watch me, little Thomas. I'll show you to slide down hills. When Spencer went down the hill, he started sliding. Now you see, Thomas? That was fun. But Thomas don't think so. When Thomas and Spencer went to the second hill. Spencer had to slide his chance. When Thomas and Spencer at last up the hill, they had a major hill problem. The heavy slope and the heavy curve was all the way down there. Watch me, I can go! As Spencer slid down the hill, then he started to get scared. Then there was trouble. No one was hurt, but Spencer was very cold and crashed through the snowdrift. He was very shiver. Well, stuck are you, Spencer? I'll go get help. Soon, as Spencer was back on the rails, Sir Topperhead was very cross. That was very irresponsible. Going slide down the hills. I'm sorry, sir. It was a usual winter day of the island of Sodor. Devious Diesel. They had rough and tough, and sometimes some bumping the other engines. One day, Diesel was at the harbor and collected a special van. It was filled with cakes and tea. Today, I'm going to be rushing shore off in time.
Before that, Diesel, the ice is just very slippery.
But Diesel didn't take no notice for Rosie. Heaping oil away. A while later, Rosie was waiting on the signal. When Diesel pulled in, he saw the track was let down to the ice. If I take a track, it would be safer for the ice. So Diesel take the ice track. This is a life.
Diesel, what do you think you're doing?
Oh yeah, I don't think this is something. Run! Whoa, help! Whoa, Rosie!
Phew!
Thank you, Rosie. You are very brave.
Oh, that's alright. Next time, You have to be careful for the ice.
Well, I suppose so. It's Christmas now, and happy holiday for everyone. It was Christmas night on Christmas Eve. Thomas was pulling Annie Clabell and the Christmas special deliveries, so Top Hat came to see him. Thomas, your special Christmas delivery was on the mainland, so you had to deliver the mainland children to the hospital and towns, and you're done on the Christmas missions. So good luck, Thomas, and take care. Yes, sir. Wow, I'm going to be lucky Christmas. When Thomas came round the bend, the tree was falling on the line. Thomas screeched to the stop. Botheration! How am I going to do? Luckily, Terrence arrived. Don't worry, Thomas, I'll move this tree in no time. Soon the tracks are clear, and Thomas puffed away. Thank you, Terrence. Soon, Thomas was puffing through the countryside. The carls are singing in the countryside, and Thomas blew the whistle and waved to the carls. The snow is getting heavier and heavier. Thomas pushed the snow hard as he could and very easily. Then there was trouble ahead. Thomas tried reverse and back and forth, but it was no use. Thomas was stuck. Oh dear, he wasn't lucky after all. The children won't be presents anymore. I'll be late. And tomorrow is Christmas Day. Thomas felt terrible. Suddenly, he had an idea flew his funnel. Of course, I can burst in the snow easily. So Thomas backed it up. And then, he going for it. And then he burst into the snow large with a flash. I did it! So Thomas fast he could, on the way to the mainland, into the Figgerstown Bridge. That night, Thomas went back to the sheds. Thomas being pleased by Sir Top Hat. He deserved of the Christmas #1 blue tank engine. The most chilling of a holiday ever Thomason knows. Christmas Day. Soon Thomas went fast to sleep, and happy holidays for everyone. Guess what, James? Sir Tubber had to get the orders. I had to pull the good strings, you had to pull the cold. Just be careful about Barnable's snowman, James. Pa! scared. I'm not scared about the abominable snowman. Oh, James, you need twice much more cold. As your needs. It's very freeze out there. Don't worry. I've got a lot of coal in my stop. This is my last stop. You could have mine. Soon James was parking the siding, only a lantern for company. Do you think it is scary abominable snowman forget me? Abominable snowman will not find you, but don't worry. The Lord is bringing you for coal in the morning. So driver and fireman got home to bed. Later that night, the icy wind howled. It started to snow. Soon, James's face is so cold that icicles hung in his nose. Butter. It didn't sound like James. He was so cold, it can hardly make a sound. Meanwhile, Diesel was coming along down the track with his goods trains. Diesel blew his horn echoingly. Then Diesel saw James. Hello, Diesel. Diesel was so frightened, racing right as fast as he could. And he didn't pay attention to the signs. Diesel tried to stop. The rails are too icy. Diesel, I know what have you done to you. I heard rushing in the tracks, came off the tracks and crashed into the station. And now you have caused confusion and delay, and you ruined into the station. Well, scare at me, you Diesel. Eh? You know it's about the abominable snowman in front of you, after all. Maybe it might be Scarl, so not Amy all the days. While Diesel was pulling goods trains, he saw James ghostly at the snow. Hello, Diesel. Made Diesel very frightened. He was so hurried, he didn't pay attention to the signs. Until Diesel tried to stop. The roads are too icy. Oh no! Ouch! After Diesel had the accident, Sir Chopper had sent Thomas to get the bricks for the station. Sir Chopper was sitting on the bench. This is kinda cold day. Just then, Edward arrived. I say, what happened here? Oh, hi, Edward. They just rebuilt the station. Oh, okay. Hey, Edward. Huh? I got a special job for you. What is it? You have to collect the workmen and take it to the station where to rebuild. Right away, sir. Now, excuse me. I'm going to the restroom right now. Okay. Soon Edward was collect the workmen, the troublesome coaches, and having fun of Edward. They are mean and rude. Troublesome coaches bumped and jumped. It made Edward go faster. Stop pushing! Edward went faster and faster. Then he shot into the station. Edward? I can't stop! Luckily, Susan switched the points. Cinders and ashes! Luckily, no one was hurt, but Edward crashed into the one-way siding and came off the tracks. While Edward was back on the line, Sir Toby came over to see what was hurt. He was speechless and too little bit cross. Now, Edward, how did this happen? Oh, it was the troublesome coaches. They pushed me. On purpose, because I'm too careless, and I bump off the line. Oh, Edward, I know about the accident before. Well, Edward, you got yourself minor damaged. Thomas will show you to the steamworks. Oh, Edward, I'm so sorry. A few days later, the station was finally finished. Hi, Edward. Glad to see you again. It was nothing. There's nothing to get scratched on my damage. Oh, Edward, you are as smart as you be. It was almost noon here, so Top Hat was running late. Then, Sir Top Hat saw the diesel engine. Hello, sir. Can I help you? Oh, sure. Can you get to the station on time? Oh, sure. So Sir Top Hat was climbed on board, and diesel roared into life. Soon, they saw the track ahead. They tried to apply the brakes, but it was too late. Water. Now diesel derailed. If I try to put diesel back on the rails, I'd be dirty. I really don't like it at all. What are we going to do? Then he saw the lorry. Hey sir, can you trade the lorry? Sure thing. Soon Sir Toby had to drive the lorry. He tried to get on the road, but the ice. That was confusing and... oh no! The lorry was spinning out of control. So Toby had trying to stop, but he couldn't. Everything went zigzags. Meanwhile, Edward and Thomas were at the station. Where is Sir Toba Hat? I don't know. Meanwhile, Sir Toba Hat was controlled. Then, Sir Toba Hat saw the cliff. Oh no! How can I stop? Today is the usual day. This morning Jones will collect the milk from the dairy. I decide which end shall run it. James, I think your job is for you. Oh, thank you, sir. Wow! What's on the ice? Phew, what clever I am. Wow! Oh no, not the sardine! Oh, bother! Maybe he needs a sandbox. No, excuse me, I'm gonna watch Pink Panther. What? Hey, stop! Look out! Oh no! It's cold. It's time for the warm up a shed. I'm very cozy and tired. Henry! Huh? Oops. Sorry, James. It was 2 days before Christmas. Everyone had to get ready for the holiday for Christmas Day. Some people felt happy holidays for everyone, and even Thomas. One evening, Sir Tom came to the sheds and had important news for the special Christmas delivery. Tomorrow we got some deliveries. I know which engine should deliver the presents and parcels. Thomas hoped he chose, but Sir Tom chose James. James, that's your job for you. James was delighted, but Thomas was sad. The next morning, James collected the parcel and deliveries to the Christmas delivery day. Thomas see anything, he was upset. Look, Thomas, I got a parcel and the deliveries. Well, that's well for you, James. Just where should I go? I will fast as I can. I'll soon get to deliver the presents. Then there was trouble. The brakes had failed. Oh no, I can't stop. Oh no, I know what's coming next. There was Poco was pulling the goods trains. Whoa. Oh no. Crunching diesels, what was that? There was a big wreckages. James being collided and crashed into the Poco's goods trains. James wasn't hurt, but presents and parcels flew everywhere and destroyed. And now James can't go to the biggest town now. Thomas was in the yard. He felt very sad himself. He didn't get only a special delivery for Christmas. When Thomas threw the hard day's work in Christmas Eve, the yard manager came to see Thomas. Thomas, we got a special job for you in this evening. It's about the special delivery. When James had the accident, he couldn't go to the Vicarstown. Boca was sent to the repairs, and Henry could get the breakdown train for James. So I want you to deliver the station now, for this evening, before it's too late for Christmas Day. Oh no, the children will be sad because they don't have the presents. I will get a special delivery on time. There was no time to lose. Thomas was heading to the station. Soon Thomas went to the station on time. The trees were starting lighting, and Thomas was right on time. So the hat came to see Thomas. Well, Thomas, I know what I heard. You deliver the parcels and presents delivered on time on stations. You are a really useful engine. Oh, thank you, sir. It was almost evening. Thomas was almost out of the water. He tried to get to the last stop in the station. Thomas puffed harder than could. At last, Thomas stopped at the station. Then there was trouble. He ran out of water. Oh no! Now we're stuck. That looked like you three had to spend the night. They will come to help with you in the morning. It looks like our turn to go home. I'm sorry. There's nothing else to do. So Thomas had to stay a night in with Annie and Clarabelle. The snow getting higher and higher. The snow keep falling and falling. His firebox went going out. Thomas's boiler went cold and freezing, and he felt chilly. Poor Thomas will have to stay where he was all night long. The next morning, Henry arrived with a cold. He see Thomas buried in the snow. Oh dear, Thomas. Don't worry, I'll go get help. Finally, James arrived with the breakdown train to have to help lift Thomas out in the snow. You look like a chilly wheelie, Thomas. That isn't funny. It was almost Christmas Day. SKARLOEY and his friends had a party, and he also telling stories. Today, my own story is my own ride. I'll tell you all about it. So SKARLOEY tell his story about his Christmas ride. It was a December morning when SKARLOEY and Trainz were working on the coal mines. Hey, Trainz, do you know all about the Christmas ride? Yes, it is. The Christmas rides are totally available. SKARLOEY smiles. He knows I got briefly, but except for one. Duncan went grumbling. He didn't stop complaining, but he rushed, causing trouble. So Topper had arrived. A Christmas trip will be there sooner. So, I know which engine will show for Christmas Day for the trip. Duncan went hard. He bumped the coaches so hard. Then it happened. The coaches derailed and crashed the platform. All the coaches went on the platform. First, the coaches crashed into the roof and went on the side. And then the second, one coaches was hanging off the platform. And Duncan knew it was all his fault. So Topper had arrived. He was cross. This is a totally disaster. Duncan, look what you done. And what have you did to our coaches? Duncan knew he was too ashamed for it. So Topper had tell Duncan to stay in his shed for many days. It was night before Christmas Eve arrived, and SKARLOEY would take his first Christmas run. So that's all the SKARLOEYs had Christmas run. So that's my story for another day. All the engines are very happy to see SKARLOEY so beautiful. And his story. James is the best colorful engine on Sodor. One day, so Top Hat came to see James. I heard I'd done very good for you, James, and now I have a special job for you. You will collect the Christmas tree and take it to the Christmas market. Yes, sir. This tree was very heavy. You must take care. Soon the tree was ready. This is going the best job ever yet. You might wait for the brave fan. This tree was very heavy. Pa, never mind about the brave fan. Just let's go. I'll take care. So they left, without the brave fan. Suddenly, James started to speed up. Soon James started his wheels he could carry. His driver was worried. He tried to brake, but James was out of control. He was scared. He passed out a platform in one time. A passenger saw and flew. Help! Thomas saw James rushing down the bend. Slow down! I can't! Luckily, no one was hurt. James has ran into the pond. In no time, Sir Top had arrived. He was cross. I told you to be careful. You should wait for the brave fan. I'm sorry, sir. James felt very embarrassed. When James was repaired, he saw that all the engines was talking. Hey Thomas, I know it's about something for James. What is that, Henry? I know that James is supposed to deliver the Christmas market. He tried to put on the Christmas tree on it, but he put it in the water. All the engines laughed, and James felt embarrassed with deep shade of red. It was almost Christmas time. Thomas the Tank Engine was pulling the mail today. He had to pick up parcels and gifts for the children, and Thomas started off his journey. As Thomas ran down the main line, then there was trouble. Thomas went going too fast round the bend. Luckily, no one was hurt. Poor Thomas was derailed, and he was stuck. Now what am I going to do? Just then Edward arrived. Are you alright, Thomas? Do you need some help? Yes, Edward. Can you deliver all those presents and gifts for the children? Of course. Soon Edward was delivered all the presents to the children, and finally came back to see Thomas in the shed. So that's another story. Are you sure you're going to pull the Christmas Express, Spencer? I think your express are too long. Don't worry, Thomas. I'm strong. You must be careful, Spencer. That track is very icy. Don't worry. I hope my sandbox. Oh no, it can't be. I can't stop. Spencer, what have you done last night? Well, I tried to stop the icy rails, but my sandbox was empty, and I couldn't unable to stop to the station on time. Oh dear, oh dear. It was 14 days for Christmas. Bogo was taking passengers to their destination to the station, and Bogo was ready to go. As Bogo speed along, there was a station with the frozen points on it. As Bogo tried to stop, but he can't. The rails is too icy. He dips a button. Bust my oil! What was that? Bogo's driver and the guard went to see what had happened. It must be a frozen points, but luckily the passenger wasn't hurt. Soon, Bogo was reversed to the station, safe and sound. But Bogo was very worried about the frozen points. Later, Sir Topperhead came to see Bogo. Bogo, you had to collect some goods trains and take to the mainland. Oh yes, sir. Bogo was very nervous about that. Soon, Bogo was ready. As Bogo sped along, there's a frozen points on the siding. And another, it was an old track. But Bogo didn't know he carried his speed. Then there was trouble. Oh no! He smashed into the barn in slow motion. Into the house. Bogo was very surprised. Anything was in a mess. The next morning, so Top Hat came to see Bogo. Cheer up, Bogo. It wasn't your fault. I know, sir. But you all very discovered, Bogo. You look very useful engine and really discovering. As I say, you have it discovered from by accident. That's why I get a frozen points for it. It makes me feel really useful in frozen weather. Thomas the Tank Engine, who was looking forward for the Christmas day. Then Sir Tubba had arrived. They had bad news for Thomas, but for a special job. Thomas, the Christmas generator was broken down. You had to collect the tankers of generation. It's made in China. I won't let you down, sir. Soon, Thomas was ready. But they didn't know the tanks of the generation wasn't secured properly. As Thomas goes around the bend, the tankers of the generation fall off the flatbed. Cinders and ashes. How did that happen? Thomas knew it wasn't time for the Christmas day for the generation. So he had to go back to the depot and collect another generation of the tankers. Soon they went to another generation. They went on its way. But then there was trouble. A faulty track was let the switch derail. Thomas was surprised. Oh no! The Christmas generation were not supposed to be on the derailment. And everyone doesn't have the generation for Christmas. I failed. And I very silly engine. Then James arrived. Oh dear, Thomas, what happened here? Thomas told James to help the generation for Christmas. Soon, James was on his way. Soon, the Christmas generation was back to life. Thomas, James were good friends. One day, Edward, who's pulling the presents trains for the children. He had a steady time. He see the tracks was extended. So steady Edward going fast as he could to the children's station. Soon, Edward made it. Edward is the most really useful engine. One day, Diesel was taking a very dangerous load to the mainland. Be careful, Diesel. That stuff will blow up. I'll take care of myself. So Diesel oily away. But they didn't know it's going to happen. But then, he will get in trouble. His coupling went old, and suddenly, the coupling went broke. Oops. Diesel chased along and didn't see the points ahead. Diesel switched to the right, and his freight train switched to the left, and his freight train right towards the sheds where the engine's resting. Then, it happened. Oh, no. All the sheds being destroyed. Engines, crews, and the workmen were killed at the explosion. So Top Hat came to see Diesel. He was not very too happy. Diesel, you are very cause confusion and delay. And now you ruined to their shed. Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir. It was almost 5 o'clock. Henry was waiting for Thomas. Well, you're late. Where have you been? The mail shed was delayed. I'm supposed to deliver the mail on time. That's no excuse. If you late again, I'll beat you buffers so hard. Soon, Henry was on his way to China. I must get to China in order to get deliver the mail. Then there was trouble. Henry wasn't hurt, but he's come off the rails, and the mail van wasn't impacted, and it was a complete terrible mess and wreck. Parcel lay everywhere, with pieces of the mail, crates, and wheels, and even the mail bags of sacks. Henry felt terrible. Thomas saw Henry. Henry? Are you okay? I think so, Thomas. Please, can you take me to the steamworks and then you deliver the mail to China? Of course, Henry, but James had taken you to the steamworks. I'm fully agreed, Thomas. Later at midnight, Thomas went to the figures town. As Thomas stopped at the signal box, there's two signs. The first sign says to India, and another sign says to China. This is it. That evening, Henry spoke to Thomas. I'm very sorry I was rude to you yesterday. That's alright. Any mail delivered to China is a better country of Sodor. Maybe deliver the mail in China for one day. One evening, Thomas was ready for delivery to Henry. His mail vans are very old. They not been used very a long time. The workman asked Thomas, "Can you pull old mail trains as your own?" "I'll try." Then it happened. The old mail vans was falling apart. "Sorry, Thomas, we will have to find another mail cars," as you delivered to Henry. Henry was waiting for Thomas's cars. "Huh, you're late. Where have you been?" "Well, I got the mail delayed." Henry started off. "I must get to China. I must get to China." Then there was trouble. As Henry go around down the hill, he couldn't stop. Henry wasn't hurt, but he's come off the rails, and the mail van wasn't impacted, and it was a complete terrible mess and wreck. parcel lay everywhere, with pieces of the mail, crates, and wheels, and even the mailbags of sacks. Henry felt terrible. Thomas saw Henry. Henry, are you okay? I think so, Thomas. Please, can you take me to the steamworks and then you deliver the mail to China? Of course, Henry, but James had taken you to the steamworks. I'm fully agreed, Thomas. Later at midnight, Thomas went to the figures town. As Thomas stopped at the signal box, there's two signs. The first sign says to India, and another sign says to China. This is it. That evening, Henry spoke to Thomas. I'm very sorry I was rude to you yesterday. That's alright. Any mail delivered to China is a better country of Sodor. Maybe deliver the mail in China for one day. It was the last day of season of the island of Sodor. Early winter is coming in. Every engine knows about the echo tunnel. When the engines go through the tunnel, it echoes around. For example, Thomas was pulling anything clever on his French line. When he headed to the tunnel, it echoes. A new diesel engine called Tony. Sometimes he's friendly, but non-diesel. He is rude. Come on! What's the hold up? Tony doesn't like Diesel's annoying. He thought it was a boasting. Bogo was on the back. Don't worry, he was grumbling. Always saying he was the attitude. Anything needs takes time. Tony agreed Bogo. That evening, when it's time to go home, they didn't notice the sleepers on the track when the workmen put it in. On the other hand, Diesel was taking goods trains to the mainland. Diesel didn't know there was a sleepers on the track. Diesel was heading for trouble. When he heading to the Echo Tunnel, he crashed the sleepers and came off the rails. Horrors! I can't stop! Diesel went airborne, went up, and then down. His brake train started. It was a terrible mess. Diesel went badly damaged and battered. He was in upside down and looked up in surprise and feeling dizzy. Oh, I just feel like breakfast. That night, Sir Tophead was very annoyed. Diesel, I heard you are rude to the new Diesel. You must learn to get along with the friends and respect to the new Diesel. Do you understand? Yes, sir. Sorry, Tony. Sorry, sir. Oh, that's alright. Apologies accept. At last, Diesel and Tony are good friends. Goodbye.